Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel. Today I've pulled out some of our pile of old Amazon Kindles. You can pick these up at garage sales and auctions for like $5, including the newer-ish Kindle Fires. And they're kind of fun little devices. The e-ink versions are pretty good for reading still, even though they're fairly old. And you can do other stuff with them, like this one we use for a shopping list. And this is an app called My Checklist that you can download from the Amazon store. It's a little slow, it's a little clunky to use. It kind of works as a checklist, but really a sheet of paper is a lot more convenient. Now this first generation Kindle Fire does still work just fine, but for reading books, those older e-ink tablets seem to work better because they don't use as much battery power, and they're a little more convenient, they're a little lighter weight. So it'd be cool to find an alternate use for this tablet. And since I do YouTube, well, why not make it into a video watching tablet? Now, unfortunately, it is pretty old, so a lot of the native apps that used to come with it don't work anymore. You can't actually download some of these anymore. And there doesn't seem to be a YouTube app for this version of the Kindle Fire. Now, it seems like it will actually play Amazon streaming video. The built-in speakers and onboard audio don't actually work, but headphones seem to work just fine. So how do we actually root or jailbreak one of these tablets? I've never done that before. I went online and I started searching around, and I found a lot of information that was frankly pretty sketchy and poorly translated, so I don't know how much I trust some of these how-to guides. So hold on, this thing has a web browser, right? If we want to watch YouTube videos, why don't we just go there on the internet? Well, you get this error that says your device is no longer supported. It tries to play, but it really just sits there and does nothing and then gives you an error. Alright, some things are happening, and it looks like some things are maybe happening over here on the tablet. Alright, we've got this super user thing. Alright, we're trying to install Google Apps and Google Play. Alright, I've rebooted and seem to have Google Play Store. Let's see if it'll actually work. Alright, so I have Google Play, but it's not actually able to communicate with Google's servers. So I've tried directly downloading the YouTube APK files, even some old versions, and they're still not installing correctly. It just comes up and says there's a problem parsing the package. So it's a little harder than it looks to actually get a YouTube app onto this thing. Alright, so everything you just saw was filmed quite a few months ago, and honestly I kind of gave up on getting YouTube to work on this Kindle. I ended up just using this one as a e-reader for magazines from the Internet Archive. It works great for that. I can download old free magazines, scroll through those, works just great, has long enough battery life, it's decent, but it still won't do any video or anything modern. However, in the meantime, we've picked up this pile of slightly newer Kindles. So as with a lot of my technology, I got these at an online surplus auction, and I think I paid about $50 for all of them. I don't think I actually got that good of a deal because these are still an older model, and you can get one just like this for like $20 to $25 on eBay. So I might have ended up getting the 7 for free, but I probably paid about eBay price for the 8s here. I got some other junk with them. I got some docks and one of these Alexa sticks that turns your TV into a surveillance device, but I might not use that. However, I am still curious if we can get YouTube working on some of these newer tablets. Kind of an unboxing at this point. This is, like I said, brand new, and I don't know if I've ever had a brand new tablet, even though it's a few years old. Alright, we got the tablet, charger, some whatever these are, charging cable, packaging. I have to say it's nice to have a tablet that's not all scratched up like everything else I own. I'm sure that'll change pretty quick. We've also got this docking station thing. Another charger, another power supply. Remember the days when electronics companies gave you chargers and power supplies with like everything you bought? Nowadays when you get a modern name brand phone, this stuff is all extra. Alright, I guess I don't actually know what this does. We're going to have to do something I almost never do and read the manual. Okay, I guess this doesn't actually have a battery in it, it's just got a big magnet so you can plop the case in there and it sticks to the charging contacts. Alright, I assume this part is going to take a while. Since these are pretty old, there are probably quite a few updates in the queue for it. So YouTube's still not in the official app store for this Kindle. I think Amazon just wants you to stay far, far away from any competitors to their own video thing. Fortunately, YouTube seems to work just fine in the weird browser that comes on the Kindle.
Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel.
And it mostly works in full screen mode, too. And this show mode dock thing seems to work fine-ish. Makes everything a lot clunkier though. Since these Kindles do just use Android, let's see if we can do it from the Google Play Store. Alright, so that didn't work at all. Let's see if we can manually install Google Play, Google Services, etc. as APK files. And that doesn't work either. I can get Google Play to open up for a second, but by the time I start typing in YouTube or try to do anything with it, it just crashes back to the desktop. Alright, so I haven't been able to get the YouTube app to run consistently, and this tablet is just infested with ads. It's got ads on the start screen, it's got ads kind of everywhere you go through it, so it's really annoying to use. I don't like the ad-supported model of technology. I paid for this unit. Granted, I got it used, but I definitely didn't sign up for ads when I bought this thing, so I'm going to go ahead and try to root this one, see if we can wipe out all that advertising nonsense, get some modern applications on here, and get rid of all Amazon's walled garden branded junk. Alright, well there seem to be a few different ways to do this, so I'm just going to start at the top of this list and see which one works. And root failed. Alright, this one has failed as well. So reading through some other forums, it seems like these devices aren't as easy to root as some of those other websites claimed. I guess I was just fooling myself thinking there was an easy, quick way to do it. So unfortunately, I allowed this thing to update, and now it's apparently a newer OS than some of the rooting methods can handle. So I think, ironically enough, by letting this tablet update, I've made it useless. So this Fire Toolbox thing seems to be a possible option. So we have to enable debug, and then go into the developer options thing, and we're going to want USB debugging. We run Fire Toolbox on the computer, go ahead and allow it on the tablet. Well, this seems to have lots of useful settings. We can turn off some of those annoying ads, and get rid of some of the bloatware that comes with it. I can finally install YouTube on this thing. There we go. After all that screwing around, after however long this video project has taken me, I finally have a cheap Kindle that will play YouTube videos. Was it worth all the effort? Was it worth all the screwing around? I don't know. I probably could have done this a lot more easily. I probably could have used a different kind of tablet. But, you know, I've got some experience messing with Kindles now. And now in the future, when I see a cheap used Kindle at a garage sale or an auction or whatever, I'll know that they're not necessarily as good of a deal as I think. They're great for ebooks. They're okay for Amazon's branded apps that no one ever uses, but they're pretty useless for anything else without a lot of screwing around. So before we actually wrap this video up, I mentioned before I got a couple of these Fire tablets from an auction. If I don't let it update, it might still be an old enough version that some of the root methods actually work on it. Let's see if we can get this somewhere useful without actually connecting to Wi-Fi, because I really don't want it to update yet. Alright, it looks like it'll let me skip Wi-Fi setup. We turn on the developer options and ADB and all that stuff. And it looks like this one is actually a little newer than I thought. I was assuming it was a 2017 model. It's actually a 2019 model. I'm using that same Fire Toolbox program on a computer because that seems like the easiest way to interface with this thing. And since I haven't let the Kindle update, I should be able to do a few more things with it. So I think on this one we can get Nova Launcher downloaded and installed and just replace Amazon's clunky desktop launcher. I actually use Nova Launcher on my phone. I really like it a lot. It's very customizable, very flexible, really a lot better than any of the standard launchers that come with phones or tablets. And then we'll get Google Play on there so we can get some useful apps. Alright, so I've managed to trade out all of my Amazon bloatware for good old Google bloatware. Or at least the apps that I'm familiar with and I think honestly work a lot better on a tablet. So we've got Chrome, we've got Play Store, we've got YouTube, and we've got our very nice Nova Launcher set as the home desktop. So both of these Kindles are definitely a lot more usable now. The 7-inch I think actually looks a lot better, is a lot more polished, and a lot more usable than the 8-inch. That one, unfortunately, I let it update, so it's still locked into Amazon's desktop, which is just cluttered and kludgy and still has all these ads and junk at the top, so I really don't like this one as much. They both still work fine for YouTube, which was the entire reason I started this project. These Kindles are fine if you want to read books. They're not all that useful as a real tablet without extensive messing around, lots of hoops to jump through, lots of little gotchas along the way, like if you screw up, if you let it update, you're kind of locked into that Amazon junk, and it just becomes way less useful overall. Thanks for watching. If you sat through this whole video, maybe we'll come up with something a little more interesting in the future. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see you next time.